so far.
Got it. Hi there, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. A little bit about everything. I earlier on this year, I shot up some logs, and I happened to save a tree trunk. Normally, when you're cutting down a tree, you want to stay 12 inches off the ground. You don't want the stump, right? Because it will show up in your lumber when you saw it up. You have this large grain pattern at the base of one end of the log, and the other end it's tightly packed grain, so it doesn't make for good lumber. But I did manage to saw a biscuit off of one of these tree trunks. So I'm going to try to make a log biscuit table, okay? And what I intend to do is, let's say this is the top, and that's the log. Okay. Well, what you do is you give it only 3 legs. That way it'll balance on any surface. Okay. You got to be sturdy legs though. And your best bet is to give it an angle outwards, right? To make sure that if somebody leans on the edge here, that it doesn't topple over. And it's got to be good, strong legs, right? Now a person could put a ring around the base to keep the legs from splitting apart. I'll see how good of a hole I can put on it, on those legs, to make it stable, right? And on the top here, I have some leftover poly, plastic or nylon top. It's black, so I'm gonna contact cement it. And put the top on it, right? So that'll cover up the age rings. And on the base here, I'm going to cut out with the router a notch and put a 3/4 inch plywood or 1/2 inch plywood, whatever I have, on the base to keep everything from the biscuit splitting into pieces, right, over time as it dries. Okay, it's been sitting for a while, but that piece of plywood with some glue underneath will give it extra strength for the legs. Okay, so that's the plan for now, and let's get on with it. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up, it helps. So that's the log right there, and just to give you some measurements, this log is 22 inches round, give or take, and this is the cracking I was talking to you about. As it dries, there's numerous amount of cracks, right? So if I take a router bit and go around the edges and cut out a piece and then glue it in there, this will help keep everything together. And with a black top on here, you won't see it. You won't see this at all. Okay, all you'll be left with is this kind of pattern around the table. So this is my first attempt at this. It's my first attempt at doing something like this, so I don't know if I'm going to get it right or not. I found this bigger piece, and I need it to be at least 16 wide. 18 the other direction. So I'll get a square. Now, before I actually go digging into this, I'm going to get me some cardboard and make a paper cutout of what I want it to look like. Okay, so I have a sheet of paper here, and what I'm going to do is try to trace the outline of this thing with a marker, just a Sharpie. Whoops. Alrighty, so I have my outline there. There was already something written on it, but so I'm going to try to leave myself a ridge around here, and I'm going to remove this 3 I'm going to try to leave like an inch and a half going around it. Leaving me a little break so my router can still almost there. Alright. looks about right. So now I'm just going to take an outline on my piece here. I sort of want to keep this lined up so I'll know. And if I double down on one side, I'll know that it has to go that way. I'll just move over to here. And just going to try to maximize what I can get out of this piece, since plywood is not cheap anymore. Even the price of glue has gone up. Okay, so that's going to be an outline. Okay, I'm just going to take a skill saw and go through that. Here's my saw. Plug this up. Okay. Ear protection, eye protection, not too bad of a cut. So I'm going to router that out. is better. I have a high spot right there. And right here. It's about 3/4 of an inch. That's the measurement I'm looking for. Well, so far so good. It's seems to be leaving an even pattern in here, so it'll make for a good gluing surface. Okay. I have two options really, either wood glue or epoxy. I have a lot of wood glue, so I'll probably be using wood glue. Well, let's get back at her. Well, I just got done. So as you can tell, the surface is flatter than the surface I was working on because the table is, I think it's 6 inches. Yeah, it's 6 inches. So you could go from a bump to a bump without transferring it to your base, right? And I just cut out the outline. And it goes in here somehow. Just took it out of here. Anyways, there it goes. I think. There. So I'm just going to put some glue underneath and screw that in there. So this is 120. And I'm going to get a measuring tape and half this measurement. And this measurement is, there might be a better way to do it. If so, leave a comment. Because I'm just hoping this works, right? 10 1/4. $120, so the lead should be somewhere over here. And 120. Somewhere over here. Okay, so these angles should be right. And they are. So for 3 legs, it's 120 apart. Oh, for those who are interested, this tool is a Grows. It's a metalworking tool, but works for anything really. And now I should put my legs the same distance. So if I put a leg here, I don't want to make it a weak, too weak, so if I'm there, all I got to do is measure from the center to here, transfer these measurements over here, so I'd have another leg over here, a leg here, and a leg here. And I'm going to try to get them to lean out. It's been sitting on a shelf for a long time, by the looks of it. Okay. This is Elmer's Professional Bond. Yeah. Just gonna try to get this out there evenly. On there pretty thick. Shouldn't have a problem with that. Put a little bit more. Okay. Ahead of time. Okay, so I'm just going to go on with this. Okay. I'm going to be using some 2.5 deck screws, epoxy. I'm just going to go around with this. There. Should be plenty strong. Alright, I'm going to let this set dry for a while and then flip it over and resurface the top and put the top on. So back in a few minutes. For you, a day for me. I started this and it's been a while and it's been sitting here, right? This is the live bark or the tree stump table. Okay. This glue has set. I had screwed it in and I tried to find the center of this this log, and the way I did that was I measured my distance from side to side, found my center, and from there, from the middle of there, I went perpendicular to one side, and then 120 and 240. So these are evenly spaced, and my center of gravity should be right here. If the density is the same throughout, it should be right here. But this is the best bet that I'm going to have of hitting center on this. And I had some maple. Oh, this might be birch. No, that's not birch. That's maple. Okay. And this tree stump is spruce. The legs are going to be maple. And I thought I was going to make these this length. Like I took the piece I had and sawed it in 3, and it made 3 pieces of 30. So this is the number 3, I believe, center drill for the lathe. Okay, I'm going to use that to tap into the ends. Okay. And then I'm going to use the saw, if it wants to cooperate in this lumber, to make my X pattern. I don't know if you're in the frame there or not. Okay. I may have gone in too deep with this. I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna take a slight. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I knocked into the tripod. Okay. Now I gotta fix that other one that I went into deep. I'm going to use a countersink. Hopefully it's the same angle. It's not the same angle. But it's a greater, it's a wider angle, so I can actually remove the portion that wouldn't fit correctly. Oh yeah, I'm way too deep. Just take a bit off. Try that on the center. And I believe it's a fix. Yeah, that should hold it. Yep. So, just going to take you over to the lathe. Okay. And next I'm going to cut the slot. Alright, take the notch out of this so I can fit onto the end piece. And that's going to happen over here. I'm going to clamp it down to the table.